All right, guys. Good morning. We're live on community and YouTube here. So TikTok, if you guys are on, please just hold the comments until after 9 a.m. EST. I do try to scroll back and look for them, but I'm not looking at them while I'm going through this part of it. So let's take a look at the markets. As I talked about, U.S. market is not open today, so we're not going to cover too much on the U.S. market. You can see that the after hours is going right because the other markets are still rolling. But let's take a look. Just touch briefly on this. As you guys know, Friday I talked about it. We've seen the biggest question that I'm getting right now is that we're seeing a lot of spike in the stocks, but we're not seeing the spike in crypto. But you have to remember that crypto is extremely volatile in the fact that there's a lot of fear, right? And so with the SEC filing their lawsuits and stuff like that, it's just adding a lot of fear to the markets, and so it's going to suppress that price no matter what the other markets are doing. So, um, can crypto catch up? I mean, absolutely. At the end of the day, crypto seems to be lagging, a few weeks behind the rest of them, but we can definitely see a northern push. We're seeing a lot of strength, and we'll talk about that when we get to the crypto side. Now, on the stock side, just to kind of go through the SPX, guys, I'm bringing up the daily here. You can see I want to show you guys with our indicators what we have here. Um, we're kind of in a push that is just pretty much been parabolic up, right? I mean, nonstop, even all the way from here, right? Pretty much 3,800. If you look at it on the daily chart, we came up, we kind of went sideways like this. Even in these push-ups and these pullbacks, right? It's just a higher high, higher low, right? But we had another explosion. We have not had any form of pullback whatsoever. So, you look at these situations here where they run up like that, right? You have a nice pullback, right? You run up like this, you have a nice pullback. That doesn't mean that we're going to be bearish, right? If you guys remember, a few weeks back, I was trying to outline this potential wedge. It was not a strong one, seeing the fact that we only had 2 points on the upper, two on the lower. Um, and then, we did not reject. If we would have rejected here, right, this wedge would have had a high chance of playing out. But we didn't reject him. It just blew through it. The thing that was impressive on the stock side of it is you have this high right here, which was back in August 2022, almost a year ago. And we have not retested that high this entire time. And then the first time that it actually breaks this level here, right? If you look at this level here, the first time that it hit it, it rejected pretty hard. Next time it hit it, it still rejected, found its support, and it blew through. My anticipation early was that we would actually reject here for some kind of a pullback, and it just didn't happen, right? I mean, it just shattered through it. A lot of contributing factors to that. One being you got, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, all these, just absolutely shattering all-time highs. It's just gonna, keep pushing all these the SPY up and the SP 500. But if you look at the actual technicals of this, guys, we did break through this. Now, for me to be extremely bullish on this, we still need to have some form of a pullback or a cool down. So, because when you look at this here on the daily, we are still green on our indicator here. It's starting to aim down a little bit on the RSI, but we are not getting any kind of like divergence quite yet on the daily like this. But we're just extremely overbought. If you look at it, we peaked out at about 76. We're sitting at about 72 or so, on the last one here. So still very overbought. So we could have a small pullback, to come down and retest this line here, which would be around 43.50, putting the SPY around maybe 434 or something like that. On the daily, if you look at it, this is the 21 SMA pulling up here. This is really what's been holding the support. You can see it broke it a couple times, reclaimed it, broke it, reclaimed it, finally found support on it. I'm going to delete this yellow one. And then just took off, right? And so we have not retested this at all. And so it could take a little bit of time, right? We could even have one more push up, creating like a double top on the daily like this before the pullback. I would anticipate this would, in that couple days, right? Maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, maybe even Friday, right? Have that double top break and come down into here, which would put it around 428, 430, something like that for a retest. Now, for us to be bearish at all, like as far as absolute bearish, right? Coming, for a big fall, back to revisit the 4,000 range or so, retesting this 200 EMA or this trend line, right? We would have to first flip the 21 SMA. So that's what you want to watch for. If you look at our gap fill indicator, you can see that this has stayed blue the entire time. It still has not flipped purple. So, and you can see here, right, where when it flipped purple, after going up blue, right, flipped purple on the top, it was a nice, break. So keep in mind, this is the daily, right? So this could take, weeks or even a month to play out. I mean, if you look at this, let's say we take a, pull back here, we get a double top here, we come down here, retest the neckline, and then we break downward to retest this area. Let's say even 419. I mean, you're talking first week of July, right? Aside from any news that comes out, right, that could have potentially crashed it. So, but at the end of the day, when you really, when in doubt, zoom out, right? You have your low, you have your higher high, your higher low. We've pumped up and we've created a large higher high, but we have not really created a higher low. I mean, this is obviously a higher low right before it breaks, but this right here to me is not really as much of a pullback, because as it pumped up, right, there was really no pullback into this zone. You guys know that for the gaps to fill, typically when you pump up like this directly, you want to come back at least halfway or so to consider that absolutely gapped filled. But it did stay pretty strong above these EMAs. So, I'm suspecting, with the secondary pump here, that we might see some kind of like ranging or potential gap fill, kind of like we did here. And honestly, guys, it could be a situation similar we see in crypto, where you have your pump one, over pump two, we go over for a little bit. We have our pump three, right? So if we look at where the pump three could potentially reject at, we just want to kind of look back this way. And you would see this prior high right here, right? So we can go ahead and just put a little mark there. Let's put this one at like a 4. And so we have our prior high here. So we could consolidate over here a little bit and then have one more pump before the harder rejection comes. So, and if you look here, it's funny. I always, I love these situations, right? Because people get overly bullish when they see this. They get overly bearish when they see this. At the end of the day, guys, the stocks, crypto, whatever, it just ranges at the end, right? I mean, you look at this, when we were super, super bearish, then we flipped super bullish, and then right back to bearish, right? Super bullish. I mean, the only consistent thing is it's going to go up, and then it's going to go back down, it's going to go down, it's going to go back up. So all we do in the middle of trading is find that range. Now, the one thing I will say is, again, I'm more bullish on it still than I'm bearish, but keep in mind, in our room, we're scalpers. So when I say I'm more bullish than bearish, it does not mean that I'm taking calls right now. I'm not taking calls at all actually right now, because to me, when you take these higher time frames like this, we are so overbought, right? It's not even funny. We need a cool down. If you mark the level, go like this, and you put your line. Let's take a look at the last time we reached that. So right here, look at last time we reached 75.5 or so. This one is 76.5, and look what had happened, right? And this obviously, I'm sure it was news and stuff that was impacted in it also. But let's look at another one, right? We have another hit here, and what happened, right? Went sideways a little bit, another little bit of pump, and then bam, right back down, right? Keep coming over here. You have this instance here. Didn't quite make that high, but even from there, guys, we went from 42.20 all the way back down to 40.36, right? So it still had a pretty good pullback, historically. So, and then now, you always want to look at, okay, when you want to see something more relevant, more kind of closer time frame, you want to go down the time, right? So we're going to go to the 6 hour. You can see the 6 hour also is way overbought, like 78, 79 it actually hit. It's still sitting at about 64. We have not broken red But it's definitely beginning its descent. Sorry about that for clearing my throat, guys. Had some coffee earlier, and it's just not playing nice with that. Look at here, you can see that we're starting to see a lot of rise up here, right? But we're also seeing equal or lower, slightly lower. So a little bit of divergence popping in there, but nothing too crazy, right? So let's go to the 4 hour. You can see here our indicator actually already called it the bearish divergence. So we do have that bearish divergence popping out. We did flip red temporarily. It reclaimed it instantly with this crazy candle. That was when a lot of them were breaking their all-time highs last week. And then we have this has not flipped red yet, but we're still continuing to go down right now. We do have a pullback here, but really at the end of the day, if you look at the 4 hour, we're just fighting this 21 SMA as far as that goes. So then let's pull down. Let's go to the 1 hour. I like that one. So we have had a nice cool off on the 1 hour, right? As far as that goes, we're not quite into the buy zone, so there's some more that can go. And then if you come down into the 15-minute, right, we actually hit a buy zone with strong bullish. So what does that all mean? It simply means that we are in a level of the RSI to where we have room to come down, but it definitely could see some more push north. From a 15-minute standpoint, guys, if you look at this and you zoom out, right, you can see that we're in like an EMA kind of setup here where you have your 200, you have your 21, and they're basically just kind of floating on top of each other, right? But the candles are below it. So this is going to be a big deal because we do have the Bollinger Bands red. And if that does continue to happen, right, and it stays below it, right, we're going to see that pullback probably somewhere into here, like 43.50 or so. So a lot into the market, but I know a lot of people are asking about the stocks and stuff like that to set up for tomorrow. Let's go and I'm gonna skip the Dixie. I'm gonna skip all the tech stocks here, guys. I'm not doing that TA for you. The only thing I will say with Apple is you can see, it did hit its all-time highs a couple times. We did kind of get that head and shoulder pattern, and it's just kind of close the market chilling right around this line here. So if we continue to hold resistance here, then it's likely we're just gonna pull back to about 183 or so. In order for me to be bullish for another all-time high, I would need to see support at 180, about 185, and it would need to flip this SMA that's in here on the 2 minute. This is a smaller time frame, right? Again, we scalp on our RIM, so we're looking shorter time frames. All right, the one everybody's asking about, Bitcoin. So the thing with Bitcoin, guys, what I'll tell you is, if y'all remember, a while back, I had shown you guys how I marked my upper and my lower, similar to how I do my ATAs. We have our lower line that we exploded at when we hit here, and then we just had a nice little upper trend line like this, right? So it literally had 1, 2, 3, 4 different hits on it. So one of the things that we have looked at with this, if y'all remember when we were back in this level, we drew this teal line right here. It was a small, 2-point line. I said if we can hold support on this, right, we're likely to push up. We did push up. We are just, we're kind of in a funny spot, guys. Let me delete some of these lines, and then I'll talk about it. Let's delete this arrow. Okay. What we had talked about was if we held that support, we're likely to push north up into hitting this trend line, which is somewhere between 27.2, 27.3. So far we're hitting it. The interesting thing though, guys, we're in the middle of a squeeze because if you look here on the 4 hour, what it's done is we broke the SMA, pumped up, rejected on the 200 on the EMA, and it just has continuously rejected. And literally it hit it once, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. Finally, the bears was like, hey, this is our chance. They can't break it. Boom. That's when we had our nice drop. And then it's just been riding this SMA up into the squeeze. So one of these is going to pop. And the direction that it's going to go is basically whatever direction the candle closes above that, it pops, right? So if we get a break above 26,630 or so, and it actually can close or get any kind of strength, right, we're going to see some pretty good momentum, probably up to retest as high as 27. I would probably You know, it's kind of funny, but if you look for little things like see these wicks right here. This will probably be where our first, if we break this right, our first resistance it would be around 27.39. You might get a little bit of pullback. If we break this, it's going to take off straight to about 27.3. Now, for me to be overly bullish, I know you guys out there are like, man, you're stuck in these longs, you want it to go up. If you need to get it past 27.3, you're gonna have to break this trend line, right? That's gonna be a big one for you to watch. So because if we break that trend line, then it's gonna come up and chase this previous high. Maybe not as high as this wick at first. It might just chase this one here around 28, 041, something like that. Would be the level that I would watch. But again, if you take out this one right here, you look at this level here across right here around 27.3, 27.4. It's pretty tough resistance because you got big area here, big area here, big area here, here and here that it could not break it. The only time that it actually broke it, it double topped and then rejected, right? So if you look at let's take a look at some other time frames. On the 4 hour, we're slightly bearish, a little bit overbought, but not too bad. On the 2 hour, we actually just flipped back to green on that one, kind of in the middle, nothing wild. Let's take a look at the EMA, SMA on the 1 hour. All right, so the EMA and the SMA on the 1 hour, we're actually looking pretty bullish because you actually have a nice little double bottom here. Found some higher support. We do have the SMA like this. The EMA, I thought for sure we would actually come down and retest this EMA, but we did not. We actually felt held up stronger, not once but twice, which is potential bullish, right? So, but again, it's got to break these levels, right, in here. So, as far as our gap fill goes, we're still not blue, we're still purple. Volume weighted profile, you can see here. I mean, it needs to get, or I'm sorry, the visible range. You need to get above this area here, right, into these weaker areas for it to push north. The bullish side of it is a little bit heavier than the bearish, right? So not too much. It's not calling for a bearish gap fill quite yet. So definitely some more room up as potential. Let's say 30. Let's go to 15. So 15-minute is showing a little bit overbought. Not too bad. It hit 71 or so. We're getting a little bit of a bearish candle. We did get our fractals, so it wouldn't surprise me if we got a little bit of a pullback first, maybe 26.4, and then because we do have a gap fill that's popping up here. Let's take a look at the harmonic. Harmonic on the 15 showing down. Let's see. Let's check the 2 minute, see where the more short-term time frame is going. So short-term, it actually called, and this is the one y'all know I scalp on. It actually called the long, and so far that played out. We hit TP2 actually, so it was a great long call on that. Let's see where the short call, yeah. So the short call played out actually really well too. 26.4 was the call. We got down to 26.3, so little scalp. Actually, this was our low here, 26.3. So little scalp. The long so far has played out well. We do have a gap fill on the 2 minute. When it comes to the gap fill, you guys in the room know I like the 5 minute. We're pretty even, and we do have a gap fill here, but we are actually calling a long, but it looks like it already played out, hit TP1 on the 5 minute as well. And we got that deep crab as well. So, but the 5 minute, we are showing that we're overbought. So, you're definitely setting up for a nice push north, because if we can get some kind of a cool off, or we can break that level, right, we should see a nice dramatic move north. I don't see anything showing that we're going to crash. Yeah, I mean, as long as we can break up these levels right here. If we can break above these levels here around 26.6, then 26.6, 60 or so. Look at this red though, man. The zone tracker's picking up, so you can see it's just such a ridiculously strong resistance area. So Ethereum, you can see it's kind of more in the middle of the range. The lower I had was here, 16.8. We talked about the strength that it hit here, and that it's likely going to push north. We talked about this, I think, Friday, and then we did get that push north. We did break above this EMA, but you know, we got an instant rejection, didn't really look too strong, but it is holding, interestingly enough, up here. Um, Indicators on the 1 hour are kind of in between. You know, you got your double top, you got your back crab. Um, we did have a call entry of 1725 for a long. That looks like it played out already. Yeah, the long was over here. Oop. Oh man, I just clicked that. Hold on. I just moved the divergence one. I messed that all up. Hold on 1 second. Let me fix this. Let me just delete the divergence one. All right. So you can see, but you can see, like I said, on the 1 hour, guys, you know, the call was that long. It did play out. Actually, it looks like it called it right here on this candle. So it actually played out almost instantly. So straight to TP5. So that's actually pretty wild. Great call on that one. As far as the daily, let's take a look. Let's add back on the divergence because I want to see the oversold, overbought. So ETH on the daily is definitely in an area that it can go north. We're still, you know, we've been trickling down like this, right? You can see we're actually in a buy zone now because we have the green there. But we do have we did hit this lower range. We do have a potential to go lower, but I'm not sure that we're going to. It's going to heavily depend on the markets. I don't anticipate too much movement today because with the U.S. markets being closed, but it's going to depend on news, man. With the SEC stuff going on, you know, we could easily see this, you know, come down here to 1630, come up like this, have a pullback to fill this gap somewhere around 1660, 1670, right? Kind of creating a double bottom, and then have us explode up north like that is definitely a possibility. Keep in mind that's on the daily, right? So that could take some time. But at the end of the day, you know, we had our kind of sideways movement. We fell, we reclaimed it, and we're having our sideways movement. As boring as that sounds. So as far as high goes, guys, on ETH, I would suspect that we would at least maybe come up and retest some of these EMAs. Let's see. I think the 1 hour we're like squeezing them, right? So let's check the 4 hour would be around 1795. I don't know if we're gonna get there today, but you can definitely see on the 4 hour it is pretty viable because even on ETH, right? Look at this. Same thing in Bitcoin was doing. So we pumped up here, hit our kind of trend line here on the gap fill, rejected through, found some support on the SMA, and it's literally just continued to follow it like this. So we are getting to the point of control on the 4 hour though, so which would be about 1742. So we need to flip this, find support, and then we'll pull up to about 1795. All right, let's take a look at the ATAs. So we had Aave long, BTC long short, ETH long short, and LTC long short. That's what we ran over the weekend. I have not looked at these, but I know that they've been firing like crazy. So let's see how Aave is done. Awesome. Look at this. Aave was very profitable. 5 days. It took a total of 9 trades, $96. It looks like it just got out here. So that one's looking pretty good. Let's see if we want to continue to run Aave, or do I want to scale back for the markets to see what they do tomorrow? Let's see. My thing with Aave, guys, if you go to how I did this TA and look where we are in this range, I mean, compared to where we were June 2022, literally in the bottom of the range. I mean, there's just like no better time to run along than right here, right? I mean, it's literally the best time to run it. I would not, that's why I'm not running a short on Aave, because it's so low in the range, it's not even funny. So I'm going to keep running this Aave long. Let's see where we can go with it. So, but we're not currently in a trade. It just sold right here. Looks like, yeah, it looks like it definitely got a TP2. Actually, yeah, might have got TP2 here, but or TP3, right? So somewhere in that range is where we took profit. But either way, it's a great trade. So let's take a look at BTC. So BTC, I think, is still stuck in the long because I didn't see an alert for that one. But let's take a look. Or I meant a short. So the short, if y'all remember from back here, we had our short, we had our 1 DCA. We set up our DCA line to be just above here. I did not like this DCA area. That's why we pushed it up, if you recall. And so far, that's been a good call because we've just traded sideways this entire time. This is why the ATAs are amazing, because they just literally go sideways. So we're either going to get up here in DCA, that'll pull our entry up quite a bit, or we're going to fall back down and we'll get out. So we're going to just let that one roll. You can see the longs, 114 bucks in 2 days, took 6 trades, just got out nicely on this one for the DCA sell. So we did our long, we took our DCA, and we got out. Here's the trades. This was actually the first DCA it even had to do. It had a long, got out, long, got out, long, got out. This one was really quick. Look at that, a few minutes. So longs are doing really well. So we're going to let that roll. I always like to check the settings. So we are still on 1 DCA. So for those that are following that. All right, let's take a look at ETH. For those that are copy trading, so far so good. ETH long, we made about 29 bucks in 2 days. Looks like did a long, took a DCA, got out, took a long, got out, took a long, got out. A couple small ones. Most of these look like TP1. That's why it's not nearly as much. And it looks like actually we had a long, we got a DCA, and it's like really close to profit. It's like you can see the white line here is our entry, and the profit line's right here. It actually hit it and rejected, so it's like it's really close. So it's gonna get out here soon. Let's take a look at ETH short. Okay, so our short looks like, did we take a DCA yet? No, remember we placed this DCA pretty high. So the short's in a similar situation as BTC. You can see back here it took the short DCA. We're not second DCAing until pretty high. I think I have it at like 1840, right? Anticipating a pretty big push. I'm doing that purposely because we may get stuck where we just wait here, right? But if it pumps up into this level, what I want is, one, I want the rejection off of this trend line. Two, I want to move this entry up probably to about here. We need to get it significantly above this yellow, because if we do get a rejection here, it might just over time come back like that, right? So that's why we have to be a little bit patient with the ETH one. So, and keep in mind, guys, the whole point of the ATA is no matter what, if something does get stuck, we're managing it through patience and discipline, but we're also, the most important is making sure that you're continuously earning, which we are. We have ETH long, BTC long, and Aave long that are non-stop earning. LTC short is doing well. 2 days, we have $78. You can see, oh, that was actually pretty good. Look at this. We had a short, we had a short here. Pretty well placed DCA, not the top, but pretty well. Ended up getting out on this pullback that we had on Sunday. We took another short, and it's just kind of ranging in between. So the white line's DCA area, this is profit area, and we're just kind of ranging in between. So let's take a look at the longs. So longs, $87, 2 days. We took a long here, long. Look at this perfectly placed DCA, got out. Took a long, got out on all these. Got out there, took a long, perfect place DCA, got out. This one got out quickly after the DCA, look at that. And then currently we're in a long right now, it looks like, which it's just been ranging right around the entry. So it's funny because like 76.69 is our DCA point and 77.40 is our entry, and we just literally been ranging there since yesterday at 5 o'clock. That's so wild. Think about if you're a live trader. I mean, man, you wouldn't have got no sleep. You'd have stayed up all night stressing about this trade. But, you know, with the ATA, you just let it go. That's the beauty of them. LTC, yep, so that's it, guys. I'm not going to run anything else yet, guys. Markets are closed. I don't want to go crazy. We already have 3 pairs running both directions, and we have one also going long. So at the end of the day, we're a little heavier long than short, but I'm okay with that. I don't know that I want to extend much more. The only one I would maybe consider would be Matic. Let me see, because Matic took a beating, and it has not recovered. And the thing about Matic, guys, you got to understand is Matic loves to do this, take its weapons, right, like this, and then there's just an explosion like this. And keep in mind, if you go back here to June 2022, just like the other ones, right, although this looks terrible right here, it only looks terrible because it just continued to just destroy, right, in these runs with the news. But if you look at like Aave and a lot of these other altcoins, right, they've revisited this area. Matic did not. It's holding a higher low. So that's actually holding extremely bullish for Matic. So could we go lower? I mean, sure, we could get all the way down to 32 cents, right? I'm going to probably hold off on taking the long just because we have so many others going on. But if what I would love to see happen is I would love to see Matic actually break down here again, somewhere in 50 cents, right? I'm going to go ahead and take that long. Because it does have room to fall down, right? So if we do have some kind of crash or something does pull back, right, we have a lot of room. Not only we can go back down to this 50 cents, right, which we don't want to fight that, but I definitely don't want to fight all the way to 30 cents. And it's interesting because if you think about it, oh well, I mean, it has a higher low. It's impossible for it to go to 30 cents. I mean, look how quickly this thing went from 65 all the way down to 30. I mean, this is just a matter of a few days, right? So it definitely can. So let's hold off on that. We do have a, let me tighten this up a little bit. There we go. So we did have this kind of squeeze that we're pushing in. Like I said, I would like for it to get somewhere here before I take that risk. So other than that, we're just going to sit tight. But I do have 901, guys. The markets are closed today, so what I'm gonna do is I will open up the room this morning. Give me about maybe 15-20 minutes or so. I'll open up the room for the community. I'm not going to trade options, but I'm going to just still hang out for a couple hours just to kind of give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions, whether it's about BitGet, whether it's about options, whatever you guys want to talk about, right? We can just kind of answer some questions. We can do some TA. If you want me to look at other pairs, coins, give you guys advice, at the end of the day, all we can do is just do the TA, right, and give you guys the best advice that we can through that. So, but I appreciate you guys' time. I'm going to stop the community one here, and we will see you guys shortly.